Hello Flosstube friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. I am known as Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. This is my mid-month update video. It is the 16th of November. I last filmed on the 1st of November, so it's been around 15 days since I last caught up with you, and this is Flosstube episode number 24. I have some really nice stitching to share with you today. I have done 46 hours of stitching since my last Flosstube, and I honestly do not know where those extra hours have come from because that is a lot more than I would typically do in 2 weeks. But yeah, there we go. So I've done quite a lot of stitching. My angle is a bit different in the room today, and you can see like the lighting and the shadows on the walls. I'm not sure how that's going to affect your ability to see my stitching. Yes, so I'm just going to do my best, but this room, it is the sunroom and it is living up to its name today, but there's so much sun pouring into this room today that it's creating strange shadows, and the lighting isn't as good as it would usually be. So I'm just going to do my best, and I won't know until I then watch this video back if you could see my stitching very well or not, but we're going to do our best and hopefully it will be okay. So stitching wise today, I have 2 new starts and 2 whips to share with you. I have a little bit of haul to share with you, quite a lot of chat about plans, so future plans for the rest of this year and going into next year. I have a giveaway to do, and then a little bit of life update will come at the end. So we will start with the stitching. As I said, have 2 new starts and 2 existing whips to share with you, which means that because I've had no finishes so far this month, my whip count has gone from 21 and crept to 23 whips at the moment, which was not my plan. I have been banging on in every recent video about trying to get below 20 whips before the end of the year, but we will come back to that in plans. So for now, I'm sat at 23 whips. Usually when I've had new starts, I jump in and show those first, but I'm going to do it the other way around today because from my existing 2 whips, I am extremely happy to report that I am up to date with the 9 Jars SAL. Hooray! So yes, I was determined to catch up with this. I promised that by my next, I promised myself that by my next Flosstube, I would be caught up with this and up to date, and I am. I'm sorry that it isn't in the frame, but you have seen these top couple of jars many times and I'm not going to take it out. It is this bottom row that I have been working on. So last time you saw this, I had completed these 5 jars, but this one just had a token few stitches in the bottom. I'm not going to put up a screenshot for this because literally like it is, the progress is these 3 jars on the bottom row. That is the progress. So last time you saw it, it was these 5 and a handful of stitches. So it's this bottom row that I have been working on since you last saw it. And you can see that I have finished 2 of the jars. So jar 6 and 7 I have now completed, which is the Giving Gifts jar and the Dreaming of Snow. I did do a little bit of creative license with some of the back stitch on these, I think. Not intentionally, but I think a couple of the back stitch bit more in this jar than this one, with the houses and stuff. Like I went a little bit freestyle on some of the back stitch, but it's fine. And then I have made a really good start on my jar number 8, and for those of you that are doing this SAL with me, we have until the 21st of November to do jar number 8, so I think I'm well on track for that. I've got, you know, another 5 or 6 days to get this jar finished, and it's more than halfway stitched, other than obviously back stitch isn't included in that, but crosses, like in terms of the crosses, I have done more than half of it now, and I'm pretty confident that I will be able to get that finished up before the 21st to start the final part 9. And I have saved this top jar for my part 9, which is the Christmas pudding jar. It was my favourite one from quite early on when I was looking at the pattern, so I've saved that to last. I know that everyone is stitching their jars in a slightly different order, but yes, we will be finished with this really soon. I won't be showing it too many more times because it should be finished by mid-December. I will pop a reminder up of the dates for the SAL, and yes, hopefully not too many more episodes until this will be done. It will be done within plenty of time for Christmas, so that I still have a couple of weeks to fully finish it in some fashion or another, hopefully. So yeah, this is stitched on 18 count plain white Ada, and that is my first project to share with you today. The next one is also an existing WIP, and this is my Patchwork Turtle. So if you follow me on Instagram, I did post him quite recently, but I've done quite a bit more since I posted him, and I think he's looking pretty good. Hopefully you agree. I am so close to finishing this project. I will pop up a picture of where it was last time you saw it here on Flosstube, and hopefully you can see that there is quite a difference. And I will also pop up a picture of what this will look like completed, and you can see how very close I am to finishing it. I am so close at this point. But this is a very deceptive pattern. Like, I keep looking at him and being like, gosh, he's so close, like he's nearly finished. I've literally just got a bit of his head to fill in and this bit here. And then just the remainder of the back stitch, which is quite simple back stitch. And all of last night, like I worked on this for a good few hours last night, and I even thought to myself, like, gosh, I might even finish this tonight. And obviously I ended up nowhere near to finish. Like, there is still hours of stitching left in him, and that is how I feel every time I pick this up. I feel like I look at him and he looks almost done, and then I look at the pattern and the actual number of stitches I still have left to put in him is quite significant, even though it looks like a tiny area. But you know, I am doing this on 18 count. This is 18 count wave after wave fabric from my own Stitch Bunny shop, and the 18 count obviously is quite small, so the number of stitches I need to put in to just finish what looks like a very small area is quite a lot. I am really hoping to get this finished in December. I'm sorry, before December. So within November, this will be a finish. I am determined to get him done. I would like to see him finished within this year. So yes, I will just keep ploughing on with him. I may well do a little bit more work on him today after I have finished filming this video and after I've got all my other jobs out of the way. I think that is the project that I will pick up again today. So that is my two existing WIPs, and then my naughty new starts. So I have two new starts. One was planned, one was not. So we will start with the planned new start, and that was my Pancake Dragon. And as you can see, I have been enjoying this one a lot, and I have done a lot. I am close to 45% done on this, and it is not a small design. You know, it's not huge. But it is a significant number of stitches. I think there's about somewhere between 8,000 and 9,000 stitches in this design, and like I said, I'm like just under 45% done. This is the Kazarina Dragon SAL that I started with Rogue Mama Stitcher. So that is the hashtag that myself and Amber are using, and I know that some of you have joined us. So I think there's at least like 5 or 6 of us that are joining in with stitching dragon patterns by this particular designer, which is Nadezhda Kazarina. The patterns from this designer are available on the My Bobbin website, but they are also available on the Stitch by Soul Etsy store, which has patterns from numerous different designers. So that is not just a store that sells patterns for this designer, but it is an Etsy store that sells on behalf of multiple designers. So yes, you can get the dragon patterns from that store on Etsy or from the website My Bobbin. And the idea is for the SAL that you can pick any dragon to stitch as long as it's by this particular designer. And mine is the Pancake Dragon, and you can see I've started with the stack of pancakes, and you can see some strawberries there. The actual dragon herself is here on top of the pancakes, and I've just started putting in a little bit of the work on her, but I have mostly been concentrating on the pancakes. I thought I would try and save my dragon to last, as it were, because she's the really exciting part. So I'm going to continue trying to fill in these pancakes, finish everything at the bottom before I move too far up, whereas Amber has done hers the opposite way round. So Amber has started on the dragon with the wings at the top, and she's working her way down. Amber and I are stitching the same pattern. I will pop up a picture quickly so you can see the full design. And yes, other people are stitching on other versions, like other dragons by the same designer. So I know that one person is stitching on the space dragon, and somebody else is going to be starting, or has just started, my friend Sarah has just started the dragon with the pearl. I think Mad Morty is joining with like the dragon that is sat in an armchair doing some cross stitch or embroidery, which is a cool one. I'm not sure that I've seen that actually started yet in an Instagram, but Mad Morty did say they have purchased the pattern for it, definitely. So yes, there's a few of us that are joining in. Anita, the Violet Stitcher, I haven't seen her start yet either, but I know that she was thinking of joining us, but the more the merrier. As you can see, I have ploughed through this so far. However, I have at least 7 or 8 of these Kazarina dragon patterns, possibly a couple more, but I have at least 7 or 8 of these in my stash. So I am just going to continue using. The doorbell has just rung and the dogs are barking, but I'm going to let Adam deal with that. I'm going to carry on. So yeah, I have like 7 or 8 of these patterns, and I am just going to continue using the SAL hashtag indefinitely. So when I finish this dragon, I'm just going to carry on using the hashtag for the next dragon that I stitch, and that could go on for a long time because I have a lot of these patterns that are stashed. But anyway, this is my first one. I hope that you like it so far. I'm quite pleased with how much I've put into this, and I'm stitching this on just a random hand dye experiment of my own. And I do have a couple more pieces of this colourway. I've not named it or anything yet. I don't know if I will name it because this was just like an experiment, but I have popped a couple of extra pieces aside for this. So I have, I might put a couple of them in the shop, but I quite like it. So I think I will keep at least one of the other pieces to maybe stitch another dragon on at some point. I do like it. I think it's a lovely, lovely fabric, and this is a 28 count. 28 count even weave, and I'm just loving this pattern. I love the colours in it, and it's just, yeah, a really nice one to work on. Pattern keeper compatible, which is always nice. I always find that that speeds up my stitching a bit. So moving on to my other new start. This is my unplanned new start, and this is the Blue Bee from the Nora Corbett Patreon account. So if you sign up to be a Patreon member with Nora Corbett, she releases designs on there that you can't get elsewhere. You can't buy them as her usual printed patterns. And yes, so this is my Blue Bee start. There is a lot of Cryonic in this. There is some Whisper fluffy thread on the legs, which I've not fluffed up yet, but my friend Sam, who is Stitcher Sam on Instagram, did mention to me that using one of the like mascara wands, just obviously a clean one, like getting an old mascara wand and washing it and making sure it's clean, can be really useful for fluffing these up. And I'm not going to try and fluff it until the end, but I will be trying out that tip. So thank you to Sam for that. So I was stitching with it and I didn't think that it looked very fluffy, and I was just chatting to Sam in a group that we're in, and yeah, she mentioned that that is a good way to try and fluff it. So I'm going to try that, but I am loving this. This is quite a simple design. There's not too many colours in it, but I think it's very effective. Like the wings look like there's so many different colours in there, but all this top bit of the wing is just stitched in 2 different Caron water lilies. So yeah, it's just 2 different threads. But obviously the water lilies are variegated threads, so you're getting all that lovely variation in there. There's a little bit of beading in this, not too much, and yes, I'm really pleased with how this is going. I would like this to be a finish before the end of the year because there's not too much to do on it, so we will see. And this is being stitched on petal parchment, and this is even weave, and I'm pretty sure I've done this on 32 count. I'm quite confident that it is a 32. Yeah, so that is 32 count petal parchment even weave from my own Stitch Bunny shop. This is one of my exclusive prints, and it's kind of like a crumpled paper sort of effect print with scattered petals and bits of foliage on. So yeah, I just thought that would look nice for my bee. I've wanted to stitch something on this fabric for a while, and I thought that this just goes really well with it, so I'm happy with that. So that is all 4 of my projects to show you today. Moving on to what shall we do next? I will do a little bit of my plans. So I'm just going to go and tell the dog to be quiet. I will be right back. And we're back. Yes, Rose, who is one of my younger dogs, she's only 8.5, 9 months old, and she's just been very persistent with barking, even though the postman is long gone. So I just went to tell her to be quiet. But we're back in the room now. So I'm going to move on to a little bit of planning. I will go more in depth with my planning for next year in one of my December episodes, because I do have some interesting plans for next year. But I just wanted to touch a little bit today on my plans for the rest of this year, because I do keep saying in every video, I want to be below 20 whips by the end of the year. And that's been like a really big focus and a goal in my mind for where I want to be. Just like psychologically, I wanted to enter the new year and with less than 20 whips, so 19 whips or less, because I feel like I've got so many whips on the go. I know that like I've got 23 at the moment, which might not seem a lot to some people, and to other people it might seem like loads. Everyone has like a different comfort level when it comes to the number of whips that we like to have on rotation. I just feel like the more whips I have on the go, it's not that I don't enjoy the variety. I really enjoy the variety of being able to switch between projects and having something that suits every mood. Things that are on a large account, things that are on a small account, things with loads of colours, things where I don't have to concentrate too much because it's very simple and there's not many colour changes. You know, I like to have choices. However, if I have too many things on the go, I feel like I don't really get many finishes, and that is something that bothers me. It doesn't bother some people, but it bothers me. Like, I like to feel like I am having a good turnover of actually getting things finished, not just constantly starting new things. So yes, while it is really tempting to just start all the things, and there are loads of things I currently want to start, that was kind of my thinking with trying to pull it back to below 20 whips, is then I could enter the new year feeling like I can have quite a few new starts in the new year without that number getting too high for me. However, with that being said, at the moment, I am not sure how realistic it is that I'm going to be able to get under 20 whips by the end of the year, and it's making me a bit sad because there's things I want to start, obviously for Christmas stitching, and basically if I stick to the 23 projects that I've got on the go right now and I don't start anything else, then yes, I would be able to get below 20 whips by the end of the year, because my Jar SAL will be finished, because that is a SAL, and the SAL will be finished in December, and I am going to keep up with that. So that will take me from 21 down to 22. My bee is very small and won't take me long to finish. That would take me down to 21. My turtle, there is not too many hours left, and there's a couple of hours left in that project. So again, that would be done, which would take me down to 20. So out of all my other current whips, I would only need to finish one other thing before the end of the year, and I would hit that goal and be at that elusive 19 whips. But I don't think it's going to be achievable if I'm starting new projects for Christmas stitching, and I don't want to deprive myself of that. Like, I want to do some festive stitching. I want to pick up festive projects and have some fun doing them, or not necessarily even Christmas things, but some more wintry kind of projects I would like to start. So I think after speaking, I had a little chat with Stitches and Diamonds, so Marie at Stitches and Diamonds. I was chatting to her on Instagram only a couple of days ago, and I was saying to her, like, my self-imposed, like, I must be below 20 whips by the end of the year. I was like, this self-imposed goal is making me really sad at the moment. You know, I'm struggling because I want to start a few new things, but I feel like I can't. And then I asked Marie how many whips she's got on the go, and she's currently got around 23 as well, so we're a very similar number, and she said that her goal like is to stay under 30, and I've decided that I like that idea. So yeah, I think I'm gonna scrap the goal of being at under 20 whips by the end of the year, because although it has been focusing my mind on picking up the projects that are closest to being finished and getting them done, which is a good thing, it's also now making me feel unhappy that I'm not going to be able to start all the Christmas things I want to and still meet that goal. So I am going to take a leaf out of Marie's book and set a new goal, and my new goal now is that I'm not going to go over 30 whips. I don't want to finish the end of the year with more than 30 on the go, and I won't, because the projects that I want to start for Christmas, there's maybe like 2 or 3, and there's one other thing that I'm dying to start that I'm going to share with you now. So yeah, I might end up going up to like 25, 26, but then obviously I still have a few finishes, so I'll probably end up finishing the year on about the number of whips that I'm on now. So it won't be below 20, but I don't think it'll be anywhere near the 30, but I'm just giving myself that flexibility and I feel happier about it. So yes, I've rattled on enough about that. Probably could have been a bit more concise, but never mind. Yes, we're now sticking at 30 or below, not below 20, and I'm feeling a lot happier about it. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I'm going to go all the way up to that number 30, but psychologically I could, which is making me feel better about having some Christmassy starts. The other thing that I really want to start is my friend Hannah on Instagram recently started the Bella Filipina Deity Trio. So there's the deity of the sun and the moon, and those patterns have been out for a while. I have all 3 of the patterns, but I've not got them here. I forgot to pick them up. I will just pop pictures on the screen for you from the internet. So there's the Deity of the Moon and Stars, which have been out for quite a while, but then there is also the new release, like that's come out recently, the Deity of the Stars, and they would look amazing as a trio, because obviously you've got the 2 that face each other, and then the latest release is facing forward to go in the middle. Gorgeous. So I spent a couple of hours bobbinating all my threads, because my threads for that arrived. I will be stitching the trio of deities in royal broidery threads, royal broidery. So I've spoken a little bit about these before. I've not reviewed them as such yet because I've not stitched with them enough to do that, but my Pancake dragon has been done in the royal broidery threads and I'm loving it. I'm really happy with it, and honestly, when I'm working with these, there isn't to me any difference between working with these and working with DMC, whereas when I'm working with CXC, which is not 100% cotton, I do feel and notice and see a bit of a difference, but I still think that CXC are great value, and I do like using those on some of my more fun projects rather than my special projects. However, these royal broidery threads, if you've not seen them, I will just try and show you the labelling on these if I can. So I don't know if the camera, wait a minute, let's try them on the board. I don't know if the camera is going to focus on them too well. I definitely didn't seem to be liking them against my hand. Let's try them on the board. So this is the royal broidery threads. I'm really hoping that it is focusing on those labels. So this is how they come packaged, and with the colour codes on these, they are all the equivalent DMC numbers except they put a number 6 in front of everything. So when you're using these threads, so this is a 210, but it's a 6210 in royal broidery, and likewise this is a 754, but it is a 6754 in royal broidery. Yeah, like I really hope it did focus on those labels, but basically they just say royal broidery, and they've got like a little crown on the logo. And yes, I'm loving working with these. So my Pancake dragon is being done in those, and like I said, they are lovely to work with. I've found them to be very even. There's not been any, because in CXC you do get some bits where suddenly you get to a bit in the thread and it's a lot thicker or a lot thinner than the rest of it, or it's like fluffy. But for the price of them, you know, I'll just cut that bit out and not use it. But these, so far so good. I've been loving them, and I have bobbinated, I think 71 of them. in this box. So these are all the colours that I need for the Deity Trio for all 3 designs, and I thought I would just kit it up in one box. So these are all my Royal Broidery threads, bobbinated. I think there's 71 of them on bobbins, and then all these are the spares because some of them require multiple, like multiples of the same colour. So these are all my spares. And the fabric that I've picked, so that's just all the cotton threads for that. Excuse me, just snap my box shut. So that's all the cotton threads for that project. And then I have had some of my metallics I've taken from Stash. So on those 3 projects, there's quite a lot of Krynic. Some of the Krynic I'm subbing with Petite Treasure Braid. And so far I've got 1 Petite Treasure Braid and 4 of my Krynic spools in there. But I'm missing a lot because I think I literally have like 15 different metallics that are needed across the 3 designs, and all my others are on order. I ordered them like 10 days ago from Lakeside and they've not even been dispatched yet. So I have emailed them this morning because I know that like Royal Mail has problems at the moment and things can be slow to arrive, but yeah, they've not even been marked as dispatched yet, which after 9 or 10 days I thought was a bit strange. But yeah, like I've never had a problem with a Lakeside order before, so I have just dropped them a message and hopefully I will get the rest of them soon. And then my fabric is here. So this is one of my Stitch Bunny exclusive prints, and I'm gonna have to step, it's so huge, it's ridiculous. I don't know if I'm even gonna be able, even if I step right back, I don't think you'll be able to see the entire thing, but let's try. No, you're not gonna see it, are you? It's just, it's so huge. If you look at this, so this is 100, it's 100 by 90. It is giant, but this is my Galactica sort of galaxy inspired print, and this is 32 count linen, and I've gone for sparkles, so I've got it with all the silver sparkles in it, which I don't know if they'll show up well in this light, but it is nice and beautiful and sparkly. And I did work out the calculation, and I needed a piece of fabric that was 100 wide by like 69 centimeters tall, height wise. So this is 100 wide by 90 tall. So it is taller than I actually need, but I'm going to work with it as a full piece. I'm not going to cut off the excess because when I was talking to Zarina at Hawkins Hobbies, when I was at the retreat in September or October, was it October? Recently, when I was at the most recent Novan retreat, I think it was October, and I said to Zarina that I wanted to stitch these 3 designs on one piece of fabric. And Zarina said that it would look really nice if they were staggered. So she basically said, like, if you had the 2 deities that are inward facing on either side, and obviously stitch them level with each other. But then she said, wouldn't it look nice if the one in the middle was like raised slightly so that she's actually a couple of inches above? And I like that idea. So I thought rather than cut down the fabric, I'm just going to work with it as a full piece. And I am intending to do that star deity, the deity of the stars in the center. I am going to offset her a couple of inches above the other 2. So the fact that I've got like 30 centimeters extra in terms of height than I actually need on the fabric, that will give me like plenty of clearance to be able to do that. And yeah, I just thought, you know, I just don't want to start such a big project and potentially not have enough fabric and realise I've not left myself enough margin. I know that the 100 will be perfect for the width, but I'm just going to leave myself that extra leeway on the height just so I can play around with stitching that middle one slightly higher than the others. So yeah, that is the new start that I have been really wanting to finish, and that is the new start I've been wanting to start, and that is the one that has been making me unhappy about this self-imposed 20 whip goal that I had in my head, below 20 whips, because I was like, there's no way that I can justify starting that one when I'm trying to hit that goal. But now that I've removed the concern of that goal, I have a really strong feeling that I will start this one this side of Christmas. I think this side of Christmas, I will put my first couple of stitches into this. I'm just trying to work out how to stitch on it in terms of like the fabric being so incredibly huge. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. At the moment, I'm thinking that either it's going to have to go onto my Q-snap and just roll up the excess and clip it, or I was thinking I could put it onto my longest scroll frame, but my longest scroll frame, which is an easy clip frame from LBZ, is, I think it's only like 65 centimeters long, or 65 or 70. And obviously the fabric is 90 wide. So I did have the idea that maybe I can fold the excess and still get it onto my scroll frame, but I'm not sure. I've never tried that before. I'm not sure. So yeah, if you have any tips, because the one thing I do know is I'm not buying another frame to accommodate this project, and I don't like stitching in hand. So yeah, it's going to have to be either one or the other of those options, unless anyone else has any other brilliant ideas. Do let me know. So that is the one new start that I definitely want to have in terms of plans. And now's probably a good time to do our giveaway. So I did promise that I would do a giveaway of the duplicate Lizzie Kate I've Been Good chart. So this is the chart number 187, Dear Santa, I've Been Good. You can see on the back here the threads that are needed if you want to have a quick nosy at that. So they do give DMC alternatives, or you can use the WOCS die works, but there's not too many colours on there, so even if you decide to use the overdyes, there's not too many to buy. So if you would like to win this chart, I'm leaving this open to everyone, so regardless of where you are in the world, I will post this to you if you are the winner. If you would like to enter, please use the word naughty in your comment. So yes, please use the word naughty in your comment, and I will draw the winner for this in my very end of month episode or very beginning of December episode. I always try and film either kind of last day of the month, first day of the month. So yeah, either the very end of November or the first day of December, whenever my episode gets filmed, is when I will do the draw for this. So you will need to enter before then. And good luck. I hope that whoever wins this enjoys stitching it. I do have all the overdyes ready to go for this, so I may well stitch this myself as one of my Christmas starts. I'm planning on having a couple. This may well be one of them, so we may stitch it together, who knows. So that is the giveaway, and I just have a little bit of haul left to show you, not too much today. So the first things I wanted to show you was just a couple of things from the retreat that I hadn't unpacked. I'm just looking around because I'm missing them. Oh no, I found them, I've got them. Yeah, I did quite a lot of shopping at the retreat that I went to recently, at the No Ban retreat, and there was a couple of things that were still packed away. I've still not unpacked everything, but I do have a few things that I've unpacked. So I mentioned that I bought all the Country Cottage needle charts for the Welcome to the Forest. I bought those from the D-stash table from Liz. Just trying to find, oh there it is. I missed one, I panicked then, I thought I missed one. So there is the Welcome to the Forest kind of banner that will go at the top of the design, and then below that there's all these cute little animals that go underneath it. And in my last episode, I did show the finishers table from the retreat, and Liz has done a beautiful finish of this on a gorgeous opalescent fabric, and her finish was shown in the video. But yes, I've got those charts from Liz that I just wanted to show you quickly. And then from my mystery box, I've still not shown you the silks that I got in that, and I've still not unpacked those, but I did get this gorgeous fabric in my mystery box that I wanted to show you, and maybe if I put it against the board, that would be a good idea to show you a little bit better, but this is a beautiful like opalescent pinkish fabric, and yeah, I think it's really pretty, really beautiful. And I was thinking of stitching my Nora Corbett Halloween fairy on this, the trick or treat fairy, the one that's the Hirschner's download. I got the thread pack from Kazarina when I went to the retreat, and then it just so happens that this piece of glittery fabric that I was gifted in my mystery box is the right size for that project. So I thought, well, that would be quite nice to stitch it yeah, on my mystery box fabric. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I know it's not like that Halloween-y, but I actually thought it'd work quite well because the trick or treat fairy, it's a lot of oranges, a lot of browns, a lot of black. And yeah, I think they will all stand out really well on this. I'm going to do like a floss toss and just make sure, because I've not done that yet, but I think that will work well. So I'm happy with that. Also from the retreat, I nipped to the Birmingham Bee Stitchy retreat a couple of months ago, which obviously I mentioned at the time, and I didn't go as a full retreat guest, I just went for a couple of hours in the afternoon. And at that time I had picked up, and I showed you that I'd picked up the Cold Hands and the Warm Hearts charts. I think these were from Jackie, apologies if they're not from Jackie and I've got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure these were from Jackie. So she was at the Bee Stitchy Birmingham retreat and I picked up these charts from her there, and it was only after I got home that I realised that there's a third one that makes up the full design on the back. So when I showed you these, I was like, she had all three. I didn't realise that they actually fit together as a set, and I only bought the two from her, and I was having major regret at having left the third one behind. But very happily, she was also at the No-Bam retreat and had brought the stuff that she still had to sell and put it on the D-stash table, so I got it. I managed to get the third pattern, so I'm absolutely thrilled that she was there, and I managed to get the remaining one. So I do now have the full set of 3, which is really lovely. And instead of having to adapt the pattern on the back, which I had decided I was going to try and adapt the 2 that I had to still fit together, now I don't need to because I've got all 3. So yes, I just wanted to show you that, and I have bought all my over-dyed threads for it, which are here in the bag with it. They've been ordered, so I am good to go with that. I think I managed to get all of the over-dyes. There might have been like one that I've had to sub, but yes, I've got everything I need to stitch that. So again, that would be a lovely Christmassy start. So just, I'm spoiled for choice with Christmassy starts because I've got those 2 that have both got the threads ready to go. I just need to select a fabric. And then I've also got the option of any of the designs out of the Christmas book that I showed you quite a few episodes ago. Yeah, but the Christmas book that's got like the Emma Congdon crab in it and a few others, I've got the threads for like 7 of the designs in that particular book, so I have a lot of Christmas things to choose between. Another bit of haul, which is going to be a bit noisy when I pick it up, but I wanted to show it to you in the packaging that it came in. When I was at the retreat, I met a lovely lady called Suzie, and I noticed that she had like these really cool holders for her bobbins. And yeah, I loved it, and it turns out that she makes them. So I asked her to make me one with a woodland themed fabric, and I asked her to personalise the inside a little bit because the case that she showed me, her bobbins, she uses like the Pip and Chip bobbins, I think, or something similar, and they're like bigger and chunkier. So when she made the bobbin holder for herself, she made each slot big enough to accommodate those oversized bobbins. However, I just use like the standard small sized plastic or card ones. So she said, oh, well, I can fit an extra row in, so you'll get another extra row of bobbins. So it arrived. I'd paid her for it at the retreat and then said, you know, just send it to me when it's ready. So it came in this lovely tissue paper, which I have ripped, but it came in this lovely tissue paper with her Stitch with Suzie, like Sew with Suzie sticker on, sorry. And here it is, and I do absolutely love this. So this is the woodland fabric that I picked. You can see that it's all like quilted on the front. It's the same on the back. It's got like this little contrasting mushroom trim. Oh, it's so cute. And then you open it. and it has 44 pockets, mine has. So I have 10 rows of 4, is that right? Yeah, 10 rows of 4 and then 1 extra row. So I've got enough space for 44 different coloured bobbins just to be slotted in. In fact, I've not actually tried it out yet, but I've got my box here of my kitted up Bella things. I won't use this for the Bella project because obviously that's got a ridiculous amount of colours in it. It's got 71, but if I just pull out one of the bobbins, let's try it. Let's try it, there we go, perfect. So I've just slotted one of my bobbins in there and you can see that they sit in there nicely enough and deep enough that you can read the colour, like the number sticker. So yeah, it's got 44 pockets, and I think the vast majority of projects that I do don't have more than 44 colours. And then it's got this zipper here, and that's just like a zipper pocket for any extra threads, like, you know, if I had multiples of some where they need more than one, or if I had like beads or any metallics or like special threads that I've not put on bobbins, I've got this pocket here for all of that good stuff. So I just thought that that was absolutely lovely, and I treated myself to one. And sorry, just while I'm thinking, I better pop that colour back in my box or I'll be very confused when I start this project. But yeah, how lovely is that? I just thought absolutely beautiful. I love the contrasting fabric that Suzie did on the inside, because I picked the external fabric, but then she just chose an appropriate one to contrast it with inside, and I think she did an amazing job of matching those two fabrics together. I absolutely love it, it's gorgeous. So that is that. And lastly, another couple of bits from the retreat that I have since unpacked from Julie's de-stash table. I got this gorgeous already kitted Mirabilia design. I've forgotten which month fairy this is, and because it's just got all the project stuff in the back already kitted, I can't see which one it is. I want to say that she's September, but I'm scared that I'm going to get that wrong. But I'm going to have to look. It's going to bother me now. But I love these boxes that Julie kept all her projects in. They're amazing. I'm going to have to see if I can find, yeah, it is the September Sapphire Fairy. So I've got the September Sapphire Fairy pattern, and it's got everything kitted in there. So all the beads, all the threads, absolutely everything that's needed for that project. And I did the same with the blue Topaz Fairy. I'm not sure what month she is, but I know she's the blue Topaz Fairy, so I'm not going to drag her out of the box. But again, in these lovely, handy, convenient boxes, all the beads, all the threads, all good and ready to go. So yes, those are 2 more Mirabilias to add to my stash of things to stitch. That is all my stitching stuff. The giveaway's done. I've touched on my plans for the rest of this year. Like I said, I have exciting plans for what I'm going to do next year in terms of WIPGO and other plans that I have. But I will share those in December when we're a little bit closer to the time, just in case they change again, because we all know that plans change on a frequent basis in terms of Stitchy plans. So yes, once I've finalised my plans and I know for sure what I'm doing, I will share that closer to December. A tiny bit of life update. We have just been trundling on for the last couple of weeks, not too much going on. I've had quite a few puppies that have left us, so the house is a lot quieter. We just have a couple left waiting to be picked up, and they're being picked up in the next couple of days, so then we will be puppy free for a very short period of time, because we are expecting some new arrivals. Yeah, we're expecting some new arrivals in a few more weeks, but we will get a little bit of a break, and that will be nice. And I am shooting to Manchester for a little while to visit my family. So yes, I am going to go there with the kids for the weekend. So only a couple of days to go, and I'm really excited about that. My mum and dad have been away. They've been on holiday for quite a chunk of time, because they spend quite a number of weeks a year over in Spain. They do have a second home there, and they've just returned from about 5 or 6 weeks in Spain. So I've not seen them probably for about 2 months in total. By the time we go and visit this weekend, it will have been about 2 months. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm taking the kids. We're gonna do lots of fun stuff, just pack as much as we can into that weekend, and that's gonna be really lovely. And I think that is like the only massively exciting thing we've got coming up. Like other than that, Daisy came home and announced to me that she is a piglet in the school nativity, so that's going to be interesting. Like I'm not sure, I'm guessing that she's one of the animals that are maybe like watching the birth or something, like in the barn. We'll see. But yeah, she's a pig, which I thought was strange for a nativity, but we'll see. She's going to be a pig. That should be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing it. She seems very excited. And then my little boy Hadley has now joined Daisy's school, but in the preschool, and they are going to be taking part as well in the same nativity play, but they don't have roles, so he doesn't have a specific character that he's playing. I think like the little ones, the younger ones from the preschool, will just be joining in like the songs and things like that. But it's going to be really nice to see them both in like the first school play together, because Daisy did do a nativity play last year at her nursery. She did join in that one, but this one's going to be extra special because it's her first year at school, and with Hadley now being at the same preschool, they're both going to be in the same play together, and I just think, yeah, it's going to be sweet. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else much to tell you. I'm not quite sure that I'm going to get another 46 hours of stitching done in the next 2 weeks. I think that will slow down a little bit. I had a few nights over the past couple of weeks where Adam was going out for the evening, and he doesn't often go out of an evening, but it was one of his friends' birthdays, and then there was just a bit of a meet up with a group of friends that he'd not seen for a long time. So he ended up going out for 2 evenings, so I was alone. Once the kids were in bed, I was alone, and I stayed up a lot later than usual because typically I go to bed a lot earlier than Adam, and he sorts out all the dogs and stuff, and he still lets them out for like a last comfort toilet break, like close to midnight and stuff, before he goes to bed. So that was my job with him being out. So yes, I stayed up late, and on those 2 nights I probably got an extra 2 or even more than that hours stitching on those nights that I wouldn't have usually done, just because I needed something to do to keep myself awake so I could do all the jobs that I usually sleep through. Thank you for joining me today. I think that is everything from me. I really look forward to doing another Stitchy update at the end of the month / beginning of December. Do remember to enter the giveaway by commenting and making sure your comment includes the word naughty. And do that before the end of November, so that whether I film on the last day of November or the first day of December, you need to get your entry in before then. I will wish you all a lovely 2 weeks. I hope that you get some lovely stitching done. I think that my stitching hours will be down for the last 2 weeks of the month because, like I said, I'm going to my mum's for a few days, and I very rarely stitch when I go there. I usually take a project, but it usually doesn't come out of the bag. So I will lose a few days stitching while I'm there, and then we do have a busier time coming up towards the end of the month with a few things going on. So we'll see how much stitching I get done, but I'm hoping that my bee might be finished and that my turtle should definitely be finished. So yes, hopefully episode 25 will be all about the finishers, fingers crossed. Take care everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye.